One. Hello and welcome to the Breaking Free podcast. I'm your host, Nathan Francis, and today I'm very grateful and very humble to be joined by Amanda again. Amanda was on my last episode promoting the Lions Homeschool Hub, and today I have Amanda back on, and I have a homeschool crew. Mehr is joining us. Mehr is like, I've only met her in the last 20 minutes. She's awesome. Uh, yeah, she's this, what Amanda and the Lions Homeschool Hub crew have built an online platform is awesome. These homeschool crew have been practicing podcasting. I've listened to a few of the episodes. They are really good. There'll be a link to that podcast in the show notes for you to go and have a listen to. Mehr, Amanda, welcome. This is going to be awesome. I love what you guys are doing. It's so good.
Excited.
Mehr, tell me about your experience with the homeschool crew. Actually, your experience from actually going from mainstream school to the Lions Homeschool Hub. Maybe we'll start there. So, Mehr, take it away and welcome to the show.
Thank you, thank you. So I guess the whole idea of homeschooling in general kind of came up when COVID hit, right? And we did home learning. That's when kind of my mum got the thing that yeah, I can teach my girl at home. We were looking at what high schools I needed to go into because year six was hitting. I was gonna go into high school and nothing was really fitting. Um, you know, Mum didn't really want me to face all the issues of high school. Like, there's the pressure of the amount of workload that kids get, there's peer pressure with the students, kids have a lot of teenage dramas going on, and there were so many things that we didn't really want to have me go through. So then the idea of homeschooling came up and we took that leap of faith and got into homeschooling and immediately fell in love with it. So after around one term of doing homeschooling, someone gave us a referral towards Lions Homeschool Hub, and we gave it a go. And as soon as we started it, it was such a wonderful, welcoming community, such a really nice, safe community, and I felt so comfortable there. So yeah, ever since then, I've been doing Lions, and it's been wonderful.
You speak so well. Just for my audience, Mehr is 14, by the way, and she speaks so well. Like, you can see a significant difference in the confidence of the homeschool crew from mainstream systems. Like, the confidence you have to speak on a platform like this is so awesome. It's really awesome, actually. I just want to ask you a question, Mehr. So, how was learning podcasting and learning things that you don't necessarily learn in the mainstream system, but you learn with Lions? How was learning all of that, and how did that even come about, by the way? Couple of questions there for you.
So, as for learning the podcasting, any concept that we really look into at Lions is often really different. And it pulls out a lot of different skills that are often really new and kind of intimidating to learn. When the idea of podcasting came about, you should have seen our faces, Nathan. We were really confused and all of us were really scared. And
That's awesome.
of course, because it's a new area, we're going to be nervous on how to do it. But, the whole learning process was incredible because it's something so different. And we got to learn so many different skills that kids in a mainstream school won't learn. And I think another thing is because it's such a safe, calm space, we could ask those questions to help us get further in whatever we're doing. I personally, I find it hard to ask for help. And I think this particular project with the podcast, I came out of my shell and I actually asked for help. I asked my friends to help me with the editing software. So I think this whole project and any of the other projects we do, they always bring out these different layers and these different aspects of learning that I don't think we'd ever explore on a normal basis or in a traditional school. I think a big one for all of us though, like all the kids there that were learning was our speaking skills, being able to listen to our own voice and
Yeah.
accepting it. And that wasn't a lesson. That was just something that came through with the entire podcast project. And I think it was incredible. For me personally, I learned to accept my voice and the way I speak and the way I pronounce my words. So yeah.
How was that process for you? Because when I was your age, this is a fair while ago for me. When I was 14, 15, we did I went into a radio studio and did like a mock interview that went on air. And I sat with that interview like a couple of days later. I was like, oh, like I didn't like the sound of my own voice. And it's like it's taking me back to that moment. How did you go with that, listening back to it and then accepting your own voice? Like it's so different listening to your voice being on record. I remember being your age doing the exact same
Definitely.
thing.
I think when it came to, having to edit the audio and listening back to it again and again and again, I sort of started to realize that, my mom believes this, and I kind of made this connection that if God's given me my voice, right? I've been given this voice for me. It's perfectly made for me, and I should start to accept that. So once I kind of accepted that, editing the podcasts was such an enjoyable experience, getting to hear myself and be like, whoa, that was cool what I said there. I need to highlight this. And I guess I just kind of made that realization. And that's when, I stopped feeling like, oh, my voice is so awkward. And I started to accept my voice and understand that it's beautifully made just for me. So
You have a very powerful voice anyway. It's really awesome. It's really awesome to hear the confidence. It's so good. I
thank
just want to
you.
circle back to something you said earlier. You said that you struggled asking for help. Was that something that you'd always struggled with?
Listen, I
Because that's
think
something a lot of kids do struggle with. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it kind of I think comes from the way I was in school because I was a really big teacher's pet and
Mm.
I often felt this pressure to please the teacher. So for me that was I need to listen everything for the first time and then I shouldn't be asking questions. I should understand it in the first go. And I think later on I started to get this realization that number one, I can't please everyone. I would be tired and miserable if I tried to do that. And second, I'm human. I'm allowed to take as long as I want to learn what I need and to get an understanding of what I'm learning in a way that, is comfortable for me. So when it came to asking for help in this particular project, it was a big leap for me. Like I don't usually people are coming to me for help, so going to them for help was yeah, definitely a bit of a push for me. But once I did do it felt really good to finally get the help I needed. So yeah.
And
That's
can I just say
jump
there,
in.
on that is that was the one of the most beautiful things of this term's unit of study was the collaboration
Yeah.
and the help on a level that wasn't us. We were exactly in the same position what the kids were in, and obviously we created our own channel, but we were coming fresh. So it was the kids who became these experts, and we were like, I don't know how to do that. Who does? And then off they'd go to breakout rooms. So it was this beautiful mesh of collaboration of all ages. Didn't matter. It was just who had the skills. And hey, Mehr, it was really different, wasn't
Yeah,
it?
definitely.
How
Yeah.
did you go using those platforms such as Audacity, getting a microphone and setting all of that up? Like, how did that all go?
Um, Using Audacity for the first time. Of course, you're starting something new, it's going to be difficult, but over time, of course, built up the confidence to use the software. And it kind of became second nature. Okay, fade in, click this button, you know what to do. So,
Yeah.
by like the fourth or fifth episode, it's just easy. We blast out that episode in a matter of a few minutes because it's just easy to edit it. So, yeah.
So your episode that you did was about holding the phone instead of holding a conversation. That's a
Yes,
really, really fascinating topic because it's so true too. How
it
did that
is.
come about?
Okay, so I talk about the story in the episode as well that I was at a birthday party, and this friend of mine is a really good friend, and everyone there, they're all my age, all teenage girls, and they're live streaming the birthday, and everyone's on the live stream of the birthday that they were attending, and I'm feeling so out of place, and I feel anxious because I don't know what to do. So I called my parents, and they picked me up early because I wasn't doing anything. I was sitting there watching them on a live stream. And the simple thing is that social media has kind of become the subject of our lives. You know, it's you'll see teens nowadays and they'll see someone in public that they know and they're like, nope, I'm not talking to this person. Let me turn around, grab my phone and make it look like I'm doing something else because I don't have the confidence to go speak to this person. You know, it's I kind of see it as a pandemic, you
Mm,
know, this issue teens have with their phones and social media.
yeah.
And I talk about this with a friend in that episode, Sarah Fitzroy, wonderful friend of mine, and she helped me elaborate on the entire topic. So yeah.
Well, we're going to delve into this topic right now because the work I do, Mehr, I'm a coach, you could say, and I work with youth myself, and I am all about self-sabotage and mindset and growth and personal development with our younger crew. And it's all about the social media, the yeah, when you get a bit older, dating apps and all these things, right? It's all technological, it's all electronic. And what's happening, I find, in our society, Meher, I'm going to get your spin on this in a second, is that a lot of teens can't look people in the eye when they're in the supermarket, when they're doing things, they're looking down all the time. Even if there's no phone there, there's no self-confidence in our teens. And it's unreal to see someone like you that's looking through the camera right now, hasn't looked anywhere else but the camera, and he's confident and very, very authentic and I can't even think of the words to describe it, but it's just awesome to see that there's actually teens out there that are confident and that can speak to people and can communicate. And for those that don't know, Meher doesn't have a phone, and that is very rare for a teenager. So Meher, with all of that, how did you turn your back on all of that and gain the self-confidence that you have? Because as you know, there's a lot of teens that just don't have it because they're on their phones all the time. They can't even have a in-person conversation. What's your spin on all of it?
So I think as for the in my house, my parents they don't use social media either. They
Oh,
barely use it. If they do use it, it's for either with my dad, it's advertising his business, and for my mom, it's to, you know, find stuff about health and wellness. So she's always trying to educate herself.
love
So
that.
in my house, my family, we barely use social media. So that's one thing. I don't get that influence from my parents. A lot of the time in households, kids they learn from their parents. I'm sure you know this, that they'll see what their parents do and they'll mimic it. So when kids see their parents on their phones, they're going to mimic that behavior and they're going to go on their phones. I think second thing is I I think the community I'm in, like the Lions community and my family community, I don't feel the pressure to have social media. Like the other kids in the Lions community, they have social media, but they don't pressure me to get it. And that I think is a big thing for me, that I feel confident in myself and my peers. They also make sure I don't feel bad because I don't have social media. And part of me also doesn't, I think it's just the way I've been raised that I don't have a fear of missing out. I don't ever feel that because yeah, again, I'm really grateful for the parents I have that they raised me in such a way where, you know, I have the confidence. They've taught me how to be confident and how to advocate for myself, which they don't teach in schools.
Mm.
And I think the community around me is a very safe and loving community where I don't feel this need to have phones, or social media. As for other teens who do have social media and they don't have the confidence, I think there's so many aspects that come into it. I think first and foremost, social media in general, it takes off so much self-confidence that people do have. Just I think there's so many things. First of all, people compare themselves a lot to the people they see on social media. That takes away so much self-confidence. Um, what else is there? There's also just I think it's a small thing, but I'm not sure if you notice it. When people do use their phones and they're watching it, they hunch down,
Mm.
they hunch their shoulders. And this kind of posture, it doesn't, it makes you very insecure in yourself, just that posture and that way of standing. And a lot of teens have that. They hunch their shoulders and they look down. And I guess it just becomes a habit to watch your phones. And then you stay in this kind of into closed worlds where, you don't look up, you don't see the world around you. So, yeah.
Yeah, and you're not standing proud in who you are either. They're hunched over. It's like as you said, it's like a lack of, yeah. You're so conscious and so aware of so much for a 14-year-old. Just sitting here going, is Mehr even 14? Like, unbelievable. You were talking about like I do a lot of work around the patterns and the mindset and the mimicking and copying, and I always circle back to childhood. I work with people a bit older than me as well, and it's always back to childhood because, as you said, that mimic behavior is copied from the parents because we're pack animals. We want to bond with our parent, and we want to and we'll pick up all of these things as we get older, like alcohol and smoking and drugs and all that stuff, because at the end of the day, we just want to bond with our parent. And it's unreal that you've picked up on that at such a young age. It's unbelievable that, yeah. I just wanted to ask you how, like, I'm assuming your parents are very conscious in the way they've sort of raised you and brought you up, which is unbelievable. It's just refreshing to see a 14-year-old that is just aware of so much. And then I'm guessing your friends are the same. So there's more of you.
Some. So my friends that I've met in the Lions community, they are very similar to me. Their
Yep.
families are similar to mine. And they're very open-minded people. We're all so different. We all have different hobbies, different opinions.
Yep.
We live in different areas and we've been brought up in different families, but we're all so, I guess, accepting of each other. And, in that way, we're all very similar. So, but then if we look at my other friend groups, so for example, my friend group, my dance team, they're all in mainstream school and they don't act like me. A story that I guess I can tell you is my coach, he was trying to find me on Snapchat. He could not find my account, so he found someone else called Mehr. He friends them, they don't friend them back. So at dance practice, he comes and he goes, "Why didn't you friend me back on Snap?" I go, "I don't have Snap. I don't have Snapchat." And my best friend, she knows I don't have social media. So she goes to my coach, she goes, "Just let that sink in. She doesn't have social media." Now, I that's that culture that every kid has social media. They needed to step back and think, whoa, a person doesn't have social media. It for them it's confusing. Like I'm some other species that I don't have social media. For them, it's mind-blowing. But yeah, some of my friends are similar to me, some of them aren't. So yeah.
That's awesome. You use that word that you're very accepting of each other. Yeah, you probably come from all sorts of backgrounds and different opinions and stuff. It's awesome that you use that word that in the crew, in the hub, that you're all accepting. I reckon that's yeah. I reckon what you guys are doing here, like, is unbelievable, to be honest with you. I reckon it's great. And I'm so glad Amanda found me. Meher, uh, how did you develop how did you develop the communication skills to be able to do what you're doing? Because I know you said it's parents and stuff too, but like how did you find that within you though? Because you're your own person too.
Definitely. So I've always been very fond of public speaking in general.
Okay.
So in when I was in year two, my teacher, she told me like, "Oh my gosh, you're incredible," when you gave your speech about the Great Barrier Reef. And ever since then, that sparked this light in me to speak. And I started doing my own looking through it when I was in year six, and I find this guy called Vin Giang who does communication skills. And I start looking into him and the stuff he teaches. And I think it kind of just grew. My own curiosity kind of pulled me towards learning more into communication skills because it's such an important topic. I think you communication skills is something you use everywhere, whether that's selling yourself when you have a business, or whether that's advocating for yourself, or whether that's, just generally talking to your neighbors, introducing yourself. Hey, I'm such and such. How are you doing? It's an important skill. Everyone should know it, but people don't see the importance of it. They don't teach it. But I guess I just kind of I found something I liked and I found a path in it and I went for it. Yeah.
Yeah. That's powerful. You found something and you went for it. Like a lot of people out there, I'll generalize it here. A lot of people don't do that out of fear and all these things. I know you're young, but that's inspiring for anyone of any age to be like, just go and do it. And what you guys are doing is super inspiring because when I started my podcast, I had all of the things come up around fear and speaking and different things because it wasn't something I was used to doing. So I had to like unlearn all of that and then just go, well, I said a swear word and went, we can all know what it is. It rhymes with truck. I said truck it. I'm gonna do it anyway. It's like I just bounced out of. It's like if I was younger and had a bit whatever. It was like that was my journey. I just did it. It's like you guys are like you're taking life by the whatever and you're just going for it. It's great because it's inspiring
Yes.
for other people that are a bit older to do the same thing, even though there's so much fear and all this stuff going on. It's like just do it anyway. And you guys are leading the way. It's great.
And I think on that, Nathan, that is, a really big part of what we weave into all of our units of study, don't we, Mehr? Like,
Definitely.
out of our comfort zone isn't something we might just mention. We actually work through and work with that on a, basis of lessons.
Mm.
So I know last year, I'll put them in the chat, we wrote ebooks around these different things. Meher's is exceptional. But we looked at, dopamine, serotonin. So we've explored what does a comfort zone mean? What, why is fear, scary? Why do people not want to step out? So we learned about so many things, the gut-brain connection. We went into mindset, growth mindset, all of it. And
Wow.
we took that on a teen or child level and went, how can I then share this with other kids to, because the way I share it is not going to be taken as beautifully as kids share it. So they wrote ebooks for other teens around this. And then another example of the stepping out of our comfort zone, Mehr, was term 1. Our unit was about, stop laughing, was about the kids all drive our units of study, by the way. So they help shape and just we decide based on what the kids want. And the unit of study was around a lot of their questions they had on what the human body was capable of.
Wow.
So we looked at this on a body physical level, but we also looked at this on a mind level. And our culminating unit or task at the end of the unit was we did the raw challenge, which is like the Tough Mudder, and every student in wherever they lived needed to go and do this physical challenge. And it was huge, Mehr. Like we asked parents to come. We said, we need you to help model this because, I didn't really want to go and do these crazy stunts. And, it was raining. It was a horrible day, Mehr.
All cold and raining and it was muddy.
And, we've got Meher's mum climbing up these frames that she was petrified. But as a group, we were there supporting her through that fear.
Wow.
And, Meher, the slide.
Was this slide, oh my gosh.
I'm fine on most of it. There's this massive slide that you just go straight down and go like ricocheting into the water. It was not cool.
Like a vertical slide, like straight down, yeah.
Yeah, into this mud pit.
How high was it?
Oh, well,
it was.
I think it was, the kids probably say it wasn't that high, but it was not like, I was like, okay with a lot of the other stuff. Some of it was just gross and we were in mud pits. And anyway, we get to it. And I remember going, I'm not doing it. I'm not going down that slide. Like that is just not happening for me. Anyway, Andre, the founder, actually, he was with us and he looked at me and he went, I don't think you've got a chance. You've been preaching, and that's the thing. It's walking the talk, isn't it?
Yeah.
And I wasn't ever really going to not do it, but I've got to say, I had to really, it's a beautiful thing when you're with kids talking about these things and you're showing it through who we are as humans, not just preaching it as a lecture.
And embracing that uncomfortability too. Like you don't get that in that mainstream system. It's all about other stuff and you don't really step out of your comfort zone.
No.
Another good thing you're doing. And learning about mindset too, like far out. You're so much more advanced than other 14-year-olds, I would assume.
Yes, Mehr is, but as a group, hey Mehr, I think that's the beauty. There's this like-mindedness among the older, the friends Mehr is referring to at Lions, and this like-mindedness allows not only this individuality to be accepted and grow, because that's the beautiful thing. They are all so different, and it's celebrated,
That's
and
cool.
what parents get that this, I can absolutely be myself, because that's going to be celebrated, not going peer pressure, I better do what they say. And I think that's why seeing these kids blossom and come out of their shells has been an amazing experience
You
to
must be
watch.
so proud, Amanda. Yeah.
Yeah.
Amanda was, when we were showing our podcast, you should have seen Amanda. She was really emotional. She was on the verge of tears. She was really happy with
Oh,
how
that's
everything
awesome. Well,
happening.
when Amanda sent them to me, I could feel it in the message that she sent how proud she was, and it's like, yeah, I need to stop what I'm doing. I need to listen to it, and it was just unbelievable what I was listening to. I couldn't believe what I was hearing out of your mouths. It's like, are these kids aren't 14? They're like, oh, some of the things that you guys are all saying, I'm like, where did all this come from? I couldn't believe it. It's like, because then you go and you walk down the street and you can talk to a 14-year-old and they're smoking, vaping, and they're skateboarding and they've got tats and whatever. It's like, you guys, chalk and cheese. Couldn't believe what I was hearing. It's just, you guys all should be so proud of what you're doing. It's unbelievable. I don't have any other words to describe it, but people that are listening and watching, jump on their podcast. There will be linked in the bottom of this somewhere, and you guys need to listen to what they're doing here. It's unbelievable. Mehr, is there anything else that you would like to share today? Actually, yeah, there is. I want to circle back to the ebook. What was your ebook about?
So, as for the ebook that we were talking about before, which was a teen ebook,
Yep.
mine was called Teenhood Unraveled, where I wanted to look into the issues of um how what teens prioritize, because when teenagers, the state that they're in, the age they're in, is really an age where we should look at self-development. Looking biologically and mentally, we're in a stage of our lives where we really need to look on working on ourselves, gaining knowledge, being physically healthy, because hormonal changes, etc., etc. And I really wanted to focus in on that in my ebook and really send out that specific message, because like you were saying before, teens nowadays, they're doing all this stuff that isn't going to benefit them long term. It's just going to send them way down. So I guess redirecting teens in a way that they can better themselves, in the age they're in, and that can help them in the future, to become successful in whatever they want to do.
You blow me away with that statement. All right, we need to let's get us gonna unpack that. All right, tell me about how you are consciously living, and so obviously you won't drink all the energy drinks and all that, and eat the junk food. What's your sort of physical diet consume? Like, what are you consuming?
And your morning routine, Mehr, because we talked about
My morning.
Yeah, let's
yeah,
do it.
we
Let's
talked
go
about
there.
this.
So, obviously, I wake up and I think about possibly going back to bed. Um, so we force ourselves out of the bed, and then I meditate. So I do at the moment, I'm working towards getting, longer meditations, but I do 15 minutes of
Oh,
meditation.
hang on. You meditate? Can you say that again for anyone that didn't get that? Please say it again.
I get up and then I meditate first thing in the morning.
Wow.
Gets better.
Does it? Can it?
So after I meditate, I do Wim Hof breathing.
What? You're kidding me. Holy wow. This is unbelievable. Everyone listening and watching, are you 14? Oh, are you sure?
So
Wow. So how is
after,
that experience? All of that. Actually, go through your morning routine and we'll get back to that. What else
yeah,
do you do?
so after I do Wim Hof breathing, I exercise. So at the moment, I just do calisthenics because I
Yep.
haven't necessarily looked into weight training enough. But I do calisthenics. I'll stretch afterwards. I'll foam roll, stretch out my muscles. And then after that, I will make myself breakfast, obviously. And then I sit outside in my backyard. I'll eat breakfast. And then usually I'll have a little bit of time before Zoom, so I'll catch up on any work I have to do, read any chapters of the novel we're studying, etc., etc. Sometimes I'll just sit downstairs and chat with my mum, um, drink tea with her, and then I'll come on to Zoom, and that's about that. That's also when I'll turn on my phone if I do plan on using my phone for anything. But yeah.
Oh my goodness gracious me. I don't know where to take this now. All right, let's just start at the start. You meditate. So what's your meditation consist of? What do you do? Is it guided? Are you doing it yourself? What's that all about? Because 14-year-olds, I'm telling you, don't do this. So yeah, wow.
So it's a 15-minute guided meditation. It's a Joe Dispenza meditation.
Joe,
And it
hang on, you know Joe Dispenza?
Yes,
Oh
I
my
do know.
goodness gracious me.
Mehr does herself, but we also looked at him when we were looking at the evil.
Yeah.
This is cool. All right, so what Joe Dispenza meditation are you doing? And we'll put that in the show notes too for people.
It's Go Love. Go Love. So he talks about envisioning, because Joe Dispenza talks a lot about elevated emotions and how you can bring that emotion to help you manifest whatever you need in life. And he talks about in the meditation thinking about a person you love a lot. So often I think about my sister because she is my heart and soul. Anyways, I'll think about her, and it's about sharing that love to that person and receiving that love from that person and just feeling unconditional love. So I quite enjoy doing that meditation. It's one of my favorite ones to do. So I do that in the morning. And then the Wim Hof is just a Wim Hof video from YouTube. And I'll do that. So yeah.
I'm I'm speechless, Amanda. I don't have any words to keep going with this conversation at the moment. I can't believe what I'm hearing.
Mehr, can I just ask something, darling? So, and I'm not going to absolutely not give credit to Lions for this because I know Mehr would be doing these things on her own. But was Wim
Oh,
Hof was from when we were doing it with Lions, darling, or did you do that anyway before Lions?
So I knew about Wim Hof, Amanda. Like
Yeah.
dad had gone to one of his things, but I never used to do it regularly. But after we started doing it in Magic Mornings, and I felt so good afterwards, Amanda. I felt incredible. So I started doing it more regularly. So yeah.
have you done yoga?
Yes, I do. Being a dancer, I need to,
Mm.
really focus on hip mobility and, for my own safety of my
Yeah,
body.
yeah.
So I do yoga often.
So what
Yeah.
yoga? So what yoga are you doing?
So there's a few people I look at depending on how I feel. I'll listen to my body, see how I
Yep.
feel in the morning.
Listen to your
Some
body. Hang on. You just said something else that's super incredible. Listen to your body. Oh my
Yeah.
goodness.
So I'll see how I feel, whether my hips are tight or I feel, my calf muscles or my quads are tight, or if I feel a lot of strain in my back or my shoulders. Depending on that, I have a few set like yoga videos that I usually look at. Depending on how I feel, I'll play a certain one, 10 minutes of stretching, to center myself for the day ahead. So yeah.
Wow, send to yourself. So many awesome words that you're using for a 14-year-old. I know for me, Meher, when I started the yoga stuff, like I was really unflexible. Is that even a word, unflexible? I'm not even sure if
Yeah.
that's a word. But yeah, I like from when I was your age and stuff, I didn't do stretching. I played a lot of sport and stuff, and I couldn't touch my toes. It was pretty bad. And just doing yoga and stretching and all that stuff for someone that was, well, how old was I? About 26, 27 was really beneficial because now I can touch the ground and I have all this flexibility that I didn't really know I could have. So yoga is powerful and it's really good if anyone out there has a 14-year-old or teenager or whatever, or however old you are, like yoga and breath work and meditation is important for, doesn't matter how old you are. You can be as young as 14, you can be as old as 70. Like it's so, wow, refreshing to hear a 14-year-old doing it. Do you journal as well, Meher?
Yes, I
Okay, what's your journaling process?
So often, if I have something going on, I'll write that down. Sometimes I just write down what's going on in my day. I've mentioned my sister, who's a complete firecracker. She'll say a million things during the day, so I write down the funny stuff she's done. And if I have anything that's going on in my head or that I'm stressing about, of course I write about that. If I have goals, which I usually do have some goals I'm working towards, I update on those. So yeah, it kind of changes every day, but writing for me is very therapeutic. So I try to journal as much as I can.
Lots of self-reflection. Do you express? I know when I coach and mentor teens, I often talk about gratitude because a lot of them aren't grateful for the things they already have. Are you all about gratitude too in your process with that?
Um, Definitely. I think the best state to live in is gratitude because it forces you to stay on the present moment. I think people are always complaining like, oh, time goes by too fast. I don't have enough time for this. Like gratitude, I think makes you slow down. It forces you to slow down and appreciate the stuff that's going on around you. Like, for example, right now, because I'm doing a competition in Melbourne for my dancing, I've been having so many practices and it's been a bit stressful for me, but I've taken a moment to stop and say, wow, you're getting the chance to do all this stuff. You're getting to create such a wonderful connection with your teammates and you're getting to go to Melbourne. Like be grateful for that. Stop complaining. So, I think living in a state of gratitude is so important and it genuinely helps you become such a better person. So yeah.
You should be so proud of everything right now. There'll be so much gratitude. I'm grateful that this happened today. Mehr, if there's a 14-year-old out there, what that's doing all sorts of things that's not, you know, that's drinking energy drinks and that's, not proud in who they are and their self-confidence is shot and they're on the other spectrum to obviously where you guys are and where you are, what would your advice be to a 14-year-old or a teenager that's listening to start their journey towards something better than where they're currently at? What would you say to that person?
Oh my gosh. Okay. I think in general, when it comes to changing your life, people take a lot of pressure and they take on way too many things on their plate at once and they try to make that change, but it doesn't happen because it's way too much to take on at once and then they just drop all of it. So I think it's starting one at a time. Find a key problem. If you realize you're way too negative, start by, doing some positivity, some gratitude. If it's you're realizing that your health is awful, right? Maybe start changing your diet. Start with something simple. Cut out fast food or processed foods from your diet. Simple things like that. Start with one thing at a time and progressively make your way up because I think if you try and fix your diet and also do mental stuff and also try to fix your mindset and do a million things at once, you're gonna do it for one day and then drop it all. It's one thing at a time. So find one key problem, start with that one problem, start working your way through it, baby steps, and in the end you'll get to a wonderful destination and you'll reach your goal. So yeah.
What keeps you what keeps you motivated? What keeps you going towards your goals and your dreams and your hopes and your aspirations? What keeps you going? What keeps you motivated where there probably are some mornings where you aren't necessarily keen on getting out of bed or you're feeling a bit yucky? We all do. What's the one thing that keeps you going that's like this drive, this motivation when it's not necessarily there sometimes? What is it that drives you?
There's a thing my dad says often to me, and that's, friends and family are gonna go, your material objects are gonna go, but your body stays with you. Your body is the one thing that's gonna live with you the entirety of your life. So take care of it. So, majority of the things I do, so that's meditating, yoga, eating clean, that's to take care of myself. Even learning, reading, that's to take care of my mind, to make sure I'm making new synaptic connections every day. So, I everything I do is to take care of my body. And I like to remind myself that this is so that when you get old, you can still run around and play with your grandkids or et cetera, et cetera. So yeah, I guess that's just one thing I remind myself that your body is going to stay with you the entire time. So take care of it.
That's a beautiful piece of advice. I'll ask you one more question before we probably wrap things up. We've been going for a bit. What, if you'd like to share with my audience and my listeners, what's one goal that you have that you really want to achieve in the next 12 months, 2 years? 3 years, however long your goals are. I don't know how long in the future you've planned this. What's one goal you want to achieve?
Oh, okay. Well, that's a huge one.
Mm.
I want to start some sort of small business. I'm looking into towards starting something. Um, but I want to start some sort of small business. Either if that's even starting to work with my dad, I want to do something towards, just being in work in general, because I think learning about, money in general, I think that's something I haven't really looked into. So starting something like that would be something I'd like to start in, the future, or that's one goal that I really like to start, looking into. But yeah.
That is inspiring for any 14-year-old that doesn't want to sort of work a job for someone else, doesn't like being told what to do, learns like the business, start a business. I have some teenagers right now that have just got a stall at a market making organic food. A month ago, they sold some muffins and different things. They made $200 profit. Like, there's a small business idea for anyone out there. There's markets everywhere. Just make some food, make stalls, sell it. There's so many things we can do. It's such a beautiful thing. I know you'll be successful. I can see it. I know there's so much potential, so much power there. I can't wait to watch your journey from afar, just as a connection. This is phenomenal. Amanda, anything you'd like to share before we wrap things up?
I want to just put it out there again, Mehr, because I know we haven't talked about it for a couple of weeks, but another dream. I don't know if it's still your dream, Mehr, or your goal.
The TED Talk.
Oh,
So we did a unit, how many terms? I think it was last year we did this unit, and it was all the kids did create a small business or their own business. So they created logos, a business name, branding. We did a big entrepreneurial course, and the
wow.
kids chose the different areas of business that they wanted, whether it was a real tangible product. Mehr went down the road of teaching public speaking skills. And then the next unit of study, we looked at taking that idea and crafting like a piece of content to, like, I guess, advertise that business. Meher's video, I remember the day she put it on because we do presentation day. And we gave the kids about 4 or 5 minutes. We knew we were sort of tight for time. Meher preempted us and she said, look, my video is 7 minutes that I've created. Probably won't, you'll probably be after 2. So, feel free, we can stop it at 2 minutes, then I'll talk and then my time will be up. We were captivated for the entire time. Like, we were like, what is going on here? Because, sometimes watching one piece of content like that for 7 minutes, it might not sound very long, but it can, our concentration, but it made us realize that, like, Mehr could be in a TED Talk. Like, that is her. That's what she needs to, like, have that bigger vision and dream to do. We'll have to flick you, Mehr, the video of your public speaking that we're talking about. But so that was something that we have been talking about, and we need to, Mehr, this is the inspiration right now. We're going to find out when it is, put it on the map, and let's work towards it, sunshine.
Yeah.
I'm excited for whatever you guys are going to do next. Like, I need to keep up to date with what you guys are doing. This is unbelievable. And Mehr, thank you so much for your time today. I can see you on stage doing TED Talks. I can see you doing a lot of awesome shit, actually. Sorry for swearing, but I really do see that.
Okay.
Amanda, what you guys are doing at Lions, I have been blown away, to be honest with you. I didn't realize it was this good. Thank you both so much for your time. It's so awesome to see, and learning entrepreneurial skills too. So if anyone wants to reach out to Lions, Amanda, for what Meher's doing, they might see this and go, oh, wow, I need to get my whatever. What's the process? How can people find Lions?
Go to Lions Homeschool Hub.
Yep.
And link there to put in an inquiry form, and I'll give you a call.
All right, I can put that in the show notes somewhere as well. Yep, this is going to be pretty resourceful show notes for people to have a look through. Mehr, thank you again. Amanda, thank you too. I'm going to keep in contact with you guys. We need to do something else again in the future. Thank you so much, everyone, for listening and watching wherever in the world you are. This was one of the best podcasts I've ever recorded, and I'm 105 episodes in, so this was awesome. Thank you so much, you guys. I'm Nathan Francis, your host. I'll talk to you guys again soon. I don't know how to top this podcast, but we'll see how we go in the future. Talk to you guys soon. Cheers.